What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, we have some new details on the upcoming promo events, and there's two of them, right? We have the sale promos, of which there's going to be, it'll be going on for a couple of months, and there's 5 different promo card events that we signed up for through the proposal, and then there's also the voucher shop, which will have an exclusive promo card available that they will rotate out roughly every 3 months, or basically we'll have 4 per year. So there's a lot to cover in this. I'm going to try and rip through it all rather than making separate videos. So let's go ahead and dive in. The event is called the Hall of Legends, and it's going to go live on Tuesday, September 3rd with a countdown page for the first week. So we'll be able to go through the card details here. But basically how this is going to be is that the sale will begin on September 10th, Tuesday, September 10th, and it'll be a 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off kind of deal. So for 2 weeks, the cards will be available. There's no print limit. You'll be able to go and buy as many as you want. But then after 2 weeks, they're taken off the market and we get a little bit of a breather. Then after those 2 weeks breather, we will get another pair of cards. And this is going to go on for, 5 months, right? So over the next five months, we'll release 5 pairs. So how many weeks is that? That's 40 weeks. Sorry, not 40 weeks. Whoops, 20 weeks. So yeah, roughly about 5 months for a total of 10 awesome promo cards that are sure to turn the tides in your favor in the arena. You won't be able to find them in packs, airdrops, or future sales. They'll only be available there, and afterwards you'll have to buy them or get them from other players. So just like every other promo card out there. Now let's actually jump into the stats. The first one is going to be a legendary card, which is Elanor Bravefoot. Now, this is a neutral 0 mana legendary card that has a range attack and an interesting new ability. Okay, so the first one is one that we've seen already, Weary, which is, there's basically like a 10% chance increasing every round that the card will be exhausted and not be able to perform, right? But the new ability, and actually let me jump down here to it, so that you can see it's called Blasphemy of Ul. Permanently gain 1 ranged power for each allied 0 mana card from the Chaos Legion set. So the idea here is that if you pair this with a dual element summoner and 2 0 mana fiends, right, from Chaos Legion, you are able to get 4 attack for 0 mana, which is kind of crazy. I mean, granted, you're taking up 3 slots, right, because you need 2 of those, you need both of them. But even if you didn't have a dual element summoner, just to get 3 attack for 0 mana, granted, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to, you're going to be playing the RNG game, whether or not you'll get that attack off. But a 0 mana card, nonetheless, is always going to be valuable, in my opinion. It's not a furious chicken, but it does have some interesting and unique things. And then finally, at the highest levels, you do get, I guess it goes to 2 attack from a base standpoint, and then you get strengthened, so all of your units get +1 health. So overall, decent support card, 0 mana. You can pair it with some interesting Chaos Legion cards. I wonder why they didn't just say any 0 mana cards. I kind of wish that was the case, because then Chicken could have been cool, and then it would have been like forward looking to any other 0 mana cards that they dropped in the future. But either way, that's the legendary card. I think it's interesting. Then let's go to Sanctus Vicar. Now this is a dual element rare card. It's going to be water and fire, 6 mana, 3 range damage, 3 speed, 2 armor, 6 health. Now this one has a very cool ability. You can tell right from the get-go, right? So right at the first BCX, it gets Cleanse Rearguard. So if you're familiar with Cleanse, removes all of any negative status effects. It will cleanses the last allied backline unit with a magic debuff. So that's pretty awesome, right? We've been wanting that for a while. They even acknowledge it there in the written section that this is something we've been looking forward to. But there's more. Not only does he cleanse the backline, he also cleanses the front as well. So a fantastic card. Well, let me put it this way: a fantastic support card that actually isn't terrible in terms of its attack either, right? Like 6 mana, 3 damage. It's got a decent meat shield, and you can play with 2 different elements. And then finally, you do get what is this called? Reflection Shield. Blank for a second. Sorry, guys. You get Reflection Shield, so you can pair them next to somebody, somebody who's got any kind of like taunt or blast rule set wherever it makes sense. So I think that this card is actually a little bit more interesting, if I'm being honest. I mean, a 0 mana card is cool, and I think what I like about this is that you could probably get away with just having 1 BCX of this card. Again, Weary, like it's going to be what it's going to be, right? If you want, you can get it to level 2 to get that Blasphemy of of Uhl, but ultimately, like, you don't really need to go all the way maxed out. Whereas this one, I guess you don't need it maxed out either, but just you get the cleanse rear guard right off the bat. And then I would say if you get this to level 4, which is maxed for silver, you get the cleanse rear guard and cleanse, and all of a sudden he's fantastic as a support card. So let's jump into the pricing, because I'm sure this is going to upset a lot of people. But you can see here that the first rare card, Sanctus Vicar, is going to cost 3,000 DEC for a single BCX, and the legendary card is going to cost 50,000 DEC for a single BCX. The price of subsequent cards will be announced at least 1 week before their sale. So it sounds like the prices are going to change. Now, 50,000 DEC sounds like a lot. It is a lot, right? But hear me out. Considering DEC is at 70% of PEG, from a USD standpoint, this is about $35 or a little bit less than $35, which is actually in line with where we were at around when Zerial came out, around when other promo cards came out. And if you go up all the way back to like some of the early promo cards that were going for like $1,000 for a max copy, this would be what, $550 for a max copy if DEC was at PEG, but it's not. So again, I'm not saying that it's cheap, but I am saying it's cheaper or on par with many of the legendary promo cards that have come in the past. So that's all I'm going to say on that, right? Sanctus Vicar, like I said, interesting. What is this? $3 if we go down about 70% of that. So it's $2.10 per BCX. Again, I don't know how people are going to plan around this. These might be cards. Again, what I like about them is the simple fact that, like, I could get a single BCX Sanctus Vicar for 3,000 DEC and make use of that ability probably right off the bat. And similarly with like Elanor Bravefoot, I could get one BCX and be happy. But I'm sure there are going to be other people out there who want to grab a bunch of them or max them out. And here is probably the most important part, and something that we saw in the last promo card sale. But there's going to be a leaderboard. All right, so the Hall of Legends will feature a leaderboard that will span all 5 events. So when the dust settles, the top 500 players will receive titles to show off their in-game achievement. There's going to be new titles, right? So the Myth Hunter is the legendary title, the Fable Scout is epic, and the Saga Seeker is the rare title. So I'm guessing similarly to the last one, and granted the prizes here are not as good, but my guess is that there's probably going to be a lot of people who buy more than they need. Hopefully not too much more than they need. But if they do buy more than they need and end up kind of dumping or cycling through on the market, you'll get it for cheaper than if you were to buy it from the store itself. So we could be in a situation where if you buy off the secondary market, it might be beneficial for you. Let the whales chase what they're going to chase and then buy off of them secondhand, right? So that's where my thought is at on this, but we'll see. So they said, stay tuned for details on the rest of the promo cards in weeks and months to come. And we'll go from there. All right, so this is where the video is going to get long, because we also have the voucher shop details with yet another card. So this one is actually going live on September 3rd. So the voucher shop, which you've been waiting for so long. So thank you to everybody who made this happen. We finally have our voucher shop. We are going to get the Mana Warden, which will be exclusively available for vouchers, and I'll go over the price in just a moment. Let's actually take a look at the card first. Now, this is another interesting card. Let me go ahead and get the new ability here, Shield Ward. So at the start of the battle, the unit in front of this unit gains shield. So essentially a nice support unit, but what's interesting is that he's a melee unit, decent for 4 mana, 4 attack, 4 speed, 6 health. You can see he gets that right. He gets that new ability right off the bat. He gets Impede a little bit later, right? So mid silver, and then finally Pierce at the highest levels. Again, 4 mana for 4 attack and 4 speed is actually pretty good. But what I wish he had was reach, because it'd be great to throw him in front of, it'd be great to throw like another random tank in front of him, and then he'd still be effective. Now, granted, there's many situations in which you can use him, such as, if there's like super sneak or melee mayhem or yada, 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 right? Like equal opportunity. There's a bunch of different rule sets where it could still make sense, especially if you want to place him in the back line somewhere and protect some other unit. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity with him. For 4 mana, I think that this card is going to be actually quite interesting. And anytime I see a card that's 4 mana or below, I get so many Little League games that I'm just like, all right, like here's a guy who could be actually quite useful, even as just a regular tank, right? Well, actually, you wouldn't get the full ability, but you get what I'm saying. He's pretty solid overall. So let's see here. Third new ability, things are about to get crazy up in here. Oh, their recommendations is you pair it with a flank unit. So because I don't have too many of the Rebellion cards, I'm not as familiar with flank, but that's an option for you. And so, yeah, that's going to be exciting. Now, here's the part that's probably going to piss a lot of people off, but it did make me really happy. It's going to cost 30 vouchers for a single BCX. Although you can get a guaranteed gold foil if you purchase 25 at a time. There's a 4% chance, but you are guaranteed that. And it's the same, actually, I think, with the promo cards. So here's the thing. If you saw that video I put out, which had a lot of people that were upset about it, and I actually pre-recorded a response to that, which will come out after this video. But my thought process was we should sell it for 18 vouchers. And I thought that was high. I am so happy that the team like almost doubled that and said, hey, 30 vouchers. Because you know what? I did the math on this a little bit earlier, and somebody can double check me because I'm just kind of remembering it off the top of my head. But, 30 vouchers times 400 BCX times 1,000 maxed copies is what I was pushing for. That's 12 million vouchers. 12 million vouchers. We only have 14 million in circulation right now. So do I think we're going to get 1,000 max copies? I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But either way, I love that the team is going for broke right on this first one and saying, you know what, let's clean out vouchers completely, because hopefully that will get us into a better place where people want vouchers and need vouchers. And I'm not even saying this from a sense where it's just like, oh, voucher prices skyrocket, right? Yes, of course, as somebody who likes to sell their vouchers, that would be beneficial to me. But I like the idea of also being able to get really solid cards for these vouchers, right? The vouchers just didn't have value. Well, now it's like, if I don't have to pay for a card and I just get it by being a, somebody who holds assets, right? SPS and node licenses, and I just get these cards every 3 months, that's going to be pretty awesome too, right? So I'm sure people are going to approach it differently. I'm sure people are going to be upset. Other people will be happy. I'm hoping that we see an effective amount, just because vouchers are useless essentially everywhere else. So it's like, if you're going to use them, might as well use them. And then we actually clean through all of the excess vouchers. This to me is going to be hopefully a very good thing. But we'll see where we are in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what happens to the voucher supply overall. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.